to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about the love that lasts. How do you make it last? What's the title of your book, Sally?
The love that lasts.
The love that lasts. And we've got special guest with us tonight, all the way from Watford. We have Sally Chiwuzie. Did I pronounce it right?
You did perfect. Thank you.
Sally Chiwuzie, and we're really excited because her friend Lucy Odim has come to support her. She wants to be off camera, but she's going to speak and clap. And she's come all the way from Spain. Now, what city in Spain are you from?
Valencia.
Valencia. They used to have a good football team, not so much now, but they had a good football team for a while. Valencia. Where is that? Is that southern Spain? Is that middle Spain? Where is that?
There's a middle Spain. It's middle Spain, but then it's a very sunny place.
Yeah, I know of Valencia, the football team. So I do hope that you've all put the kids to bed. I hope you've put the kids to bed, and I hope that you have got a glass of something nice in your hand, something that will keep you for the next 2 hours as we have a conversation on the love that lasts. So, Sally Chiwuzie, I like saying your surname, Chiwuzie. Sally is going to tell us a little bit about a book that she's written. So we're going to hear a little bit about her book, and she'll tell us a bit about her experience. As per usual, we'd love for you to join the conversation. We'd love for you to come through. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. You can get me on my Facebook. Basil says the pick the Joss Week. The one that he's put to bed. Joss Week. So we've also got, I know him, he's being very tongue-in-cheek. And but join us, send us a message on WhatsApp 0745 964 2898. That's 0745 964 2898. Okay, so Sally, over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about how the book came about, and we can take it from there.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm shy, especially now that I know this is live.
Pull your chair in closely so that everybody can
happy to be here. I'm Sally Chiwuzie. I'm the owner and founder of a brand called Unshakable. If you're on video, you'll see that I've got the hoodie on. So Unshakable is a state of mind. The idea behind the brand is to take your state of mind with you everywhere you go, to be unshakable, be in truth with yourself, and to love yourself. So obviously the foundation of the brand itself is love anyway. So you guys have had me at the right time.
Excellent.
And to celebrate the month of love, I've written this. It kind of just happened, I think. I feel like so love is such a big word, right? It's such a big, powerful word, and there's so many angles to it. So sometimes it's nice to get to the very foundation of it. And I always like to say that the foundation of love is self-love. So people tend to neglect themselves. And you think about the 1 Corinthians 13 version of love means that you need to sacrifice all of you to do it perfectly. So my book kind of suggests that I don't think that's kind of what the intention is. The intention isn't to lose ourselves in the process. The intention, I think, is to be even more whole by virtue of by virtue of loving yourself so much that there's enough to give to other people. I think that's what it is. Yes. So the book, my book, The Love That Lasts, is about how self-love makes love unshakable. I ran an event 2 weeks ago with a few of my friends, and we listened to love songs and old songs, and in between I did quotes and stories. So I ended up compiling. So this book is a compilation of all 10 stories that I read out on the night, and I just put some self-reflection questions in there as well to make people think. So yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
So how did the book come about? What inspired you to start the book? How did you get onto this journey?
Okay, So I think for the longest time, I've been thinking about love with regards to the brand anyway. But last year in particular, this time last year in February, I lost two friends of mine, really good friends, 2 days apart in the same week.
Wow.
And yeah, that hit me very hard. So I think it got me thinking about so many things. Why do I feel the way I do about certain people? Why do I gravitate towards some more than others? And why do certain things make me feel the way that I feel? So I started to explore my emotions a little bit because I tell you what, if you're training for the marathon, you have a lot of thinking time because you
So
you were running. Yeah, I was training
that
for the
time?
London Marathon at
Were
that
your
time.
friends also, or were they not?
No, so I was
but-
training with one friend. I was training with one friend. It was for her 50th. And yeah, so I trained through a lot of grief, a lot of pain, and so a lot of self-reflection as well. So something like a marathon is a test of resilience. It's a test of your strength, and it's a test of your mental stamina. So in that time, there is a lot of introspection going on.
Mhm.
And yes, so I think that's when this thought was born in my mind. So a couple of weeks ago, Valentine's week, I had a few of my friends round at a restaurant where there was this live singer, and in between her songs, I did, the quotes, like I said, and I did like a very short, insightful, impactful, thought-provoking story, 5 lines, it's just a short story, So for example, there's a woman and she looks in the mirror and she never sees beauty in herself. And the more when she did start to say to herself, I am enough, and she started to believe it and she started to realize, and things changed from there. So I think the idea behind that was to say that you can't rely on another human being to make you feel whole. You have to bring yourself whole into any kind of interaction, be it friendship, be it, romantic entanglement, or, what have you. You have to come whole. You can't derive happiness from someone else. I think it's an unfair ask, actually, of someone.
Okay.
In 2025,
Yes.
do you think it's possible to present yourself in a relationship whole?
Whole.
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 Yes. Whole.
Well, yes, I think it's something to aspire to. So I think so. Let me turn this around and say this instead. I think I think what you cannot do is bring yourself on whole. So whether you're whole or not, is I don't know. I suppose it's an individual thing, right? It's about, you and what you've been through and your life experiences. What you cannot do is present yourself without being whole, because the relationship isn't going to work.
So what is whole?
Whole
Okay.
is, what is whole? Whole is, I'm going to turn it up now.
Is it off?
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Whole, I suppose whole means not broken, not
Yeah.
not damaged.
Yes.
So because I think if you bring a damaged part of yourself into a relationship, you're presenting the other person with problems, as opposed to
Yes.
as opposed to
So you're
what's the word?
almost, you'd say you're tying your hand behind your back before you even start.
Yes, exactly.
But to Charlie's point, aren't we all broken in a certain way?
Of course, in a certain way.
How would I seek to make myself whole so that I know I'm fit for a relationship?
But before you get there,
Yeah.
how do you even know you're broken in the first place?
Yeah, this is a very good question. So I think also it's a very individual thing as well. So you know yourself, and I suppose you know what you've lived through, your life experiences, you know what good should look like. You have guidance on that. You have your inner voice, you have God's voice, well, which sometimes is your inner voice. So you know the things that are not quite right and need to be tweaked. So for example, if you have bad habits, nobody has to tell you that those habits are bad. So if you project them forward, that can be self-destructive. So I think everyone kind of knows the parts of themselves that need some work. So I think I suppose if you have parts of yourself that are in need of a little bit of work, then I think the idea is to recognize that and to strive towards being, doing the things.
Rectifying that.
Yeah, to rectifying that.
Doing that. And that would probably be at the point that you start to think, well, I would like to be involved in a relationship.
Mhm.
I suppose the first thing to do then is look at yourself to see what are you offering. I remember hearing a sermon by a young man, Clarence Jackson, and he preached it in a sermon that was being streamed. So I never feel I feel it's fine to share, which I've shared it many times, because I thought it was a very, very good line. And he was saying that he was a young man, he was talking to one of the elders in his church. And he said, the elder said, Clarence, I think you think about getting a girlfriend, or you're a teen now or whatever. And he said, oh yes, elder, I am. And he said, what type of girl would you like? What type of girl are you going to look around for? And he said, oh, I want her to be able to do this, that. I want her to have this. I want her to have that. I want her to have all of these. And he said he talked for about 10 minutes on the attributes of the woman that he thought would be ideal for him. So the elder very poignantly said to him, and when you find a girl just like that, will she want you? And that made he said that made him start to think, oh, grief. And so he made that point in the sermon, and I've used that so many times. And when you said it now about not being broken when you come to a relationship, and Charlie saying, how do you know when you're broken? I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
I'm now thinking of having a relationship. Either I'm planning to go out and actively seek a girlfriend, or I meet someone by chance and I think, oh, she's nice. Then you then start to the first thing you should do is look at yourself. Am I attractive enough for that person? You're not sure, you're not convinced by that, Charlie?
Some people are oblivious.
Well,
So
yeah, but aren't the oblivious ones the ones that don't self-reflect? Isn't that what makes me oblivious to the fact that I don't self-reflect? Or are you saying that I self-reflect, but I'm oblivious to the fact that I've got a
See,
problem?
that you'll have individuals who will tell you that they've self-reflected and they're okay. It's the others.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine instead.
And based on that and those sort of rhetorics, how then are you presenting yourself whole if you think you're okay? Because coming in, everyone will tell you that they're not everyone will. Someone will come to you and they will say to you that they're perfect. Maybe they don't have people around them that will point out to them, well, actually, that's not okay. Or you can't just like not speak to me for 4 weeks. I mean, you can't. Some people think that that's okay. So how do you find yourself in a place where you're then able to truthfully reflect, and then that leads you to a place, or you're starting on that journey towards wholeness?
Okay.
Because sometimes some people need other people
to tell them.
or to get to that place.
Yeah.
To help them, you mean?
Yeah.
To
So
help
I mean,
them?
yeah. So but of
become
course,
whole.
Charlie, to what you're saying is consider this. So maybe I get into a relationship and I think I'm fine, and this other person says to me, "Do you know, Sally? Actually, every time we have an argument, you go off sulking for 4 weeks and you don't talk to me. I think this is very unhealthy." It's then my job to think about it. Well, logically, first of all, like sit down in my quiet moment. Does it really make sense to not talk to somebody for 4 weeks, And isn't that a good starting point? So if you're honest with yourself and the answer is no, then there you go. That's something you need to work on.
See, I dig deeper than that.
Even though life is not that straightforward, obviously.
No, true. But
Yeah.
see, and Mark is gonna roll his eyes because he knows where I'm coming from. Because I will dig even deeper than that. Because I would also say, where is it coming from? In terms of, is that the way your father communicates with his mother, or your mother communicate with your father that now you've adopted
Mhm.
and now you're bringing into your relationship and you don't even realize until you sit down and think, why do I do that?
Yeah, but then that is the exact thing. That is when you sit down and you think, why do I do that?
Mhm.
That is the beginning of identifying that there's a problem that you need to fix in the first place.
And the beginning of
Right?
healing, yeah.
And the beginning of healing. And do you know, if you're behaving in that way to somebody,
Mhm.
gosh, I kind of lost my train of thought there. If you're behaving like that to somebody, doesn't that indicate that then there's a part of you that needs to give yourself there's something missing, basically. There's something missing. So
Yes.
that you
Yeah,
need to
because Charlie, I mean, remember, one person or we cannot be responsible for everybody.
exactly.
So there will be those that say, but I'm fine. I have no need of self-reflection. Or I've done my self-reflection and I'm fine.
Mhm.
And we almost can't legislate for them,
Mhm.
because what we're really saying is that to make the love last,
Mhm.
we're saying, how do you make the love last, or the love that lasts?
Mhm.
What you need to do is the self-reflection. So again, it's almost like last week when we were talking about what do you do when people are unlovable,
Mhm.
or loving you really hurts. Is that for those that are going to say, well, if it hurts to love me, you need to change. There's something wrong with you. We can't legislate for those people. What we're really speaking to and for are those that are seeking for the love to last,
Mhm.
those that
Yes.
are seeking to not be unlovable. So those that are seeking to continue or to build or to find a way, navigate a path to a healthy and happy relationship, what you need to sit down and do is self-reflect at the
Yeah.
beginning. I'm going somewhere to meet someone, or I went somewhere and I met someone, or I now feel I now feel that I'm ready for a relationship. So you're deciding that you're available now, and interested. So what we're really saying is for those people. So I may have some serious trauma because of what happened in my youth, or how my father and my mother were. But if I'm really seeking to break the cycle, then I've got to do this bit of work. If I don't see that bit of work as necessary, or if I decide I've done the work and I'm perfect, or let's not even say perfect, I'm fine.
Mhm.
If I've done the work and I'm fine, but still I meet 3 people in 3 different walks of life, and all of them have the same complaints about me, that Mark, you're sulky, or I can't disagree with you before you fly off the handle, or whatever it might be. And I still say, well, that's you three's problem. I'll go and find the 4th person. Then we can't really legislate for that person. That person's got more work to do, and hopefully they will bump into someone that can help them with that before it's too late for them
Mhm.
in terms of relationships.
Mhm.
Go on.
You talk about a lot of what you said. I got from that is you need to do the work. So you
Yeah.
need to do work, but I'm assuming we're saying if we're wanting love to last, both of us want the love to last.
Yes,
Mhm.
It
yes,
can't just be a
yes.
Yeah, one
I-
person. Yeah,
I
I
want-
need.
I want
yeah.
it, but you're looking over there.
Yes, yes.
So you both have to be in
Yes.
agreement
Mhm.
that you're gonna put in the work
Mhm.
for the love to last.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because and I like that, being agreement that you're going to put in the work, because you might want the love to last and I want the love to last,
Mhm.
but our idea of how the love lasts is
Mhm.
totally different. It's totally different from each other. So, I might say, yeah, I want the love to last, so just stop making noise, stop asking me questions, and just get on with it. Right? So, and then the love will last forever.
So then okay, so we then have that. How do you get over that hurdle then?
for someone that wants this love to last.
Mm.
I think, well, we've only got the first hurdle so
Yeah.
far,
Mhm.
but the first hurdle was the self-reflection, I think.
Yes, yeah.
That was the first hurdle, and that's what we've got to start there.
Mhm.
We've got to say, okay, I want this love to last. What do I need to do? As the young man Clarence, firstly, the elder said to him, so will the girl that has all of the things that you want, and I can't remember what those things were because he was quite young, so it wouldn't necessarily have been, you know, a CEO of a company or I can't remember those things, but when he laid out all the things that the ideal woman would have, and he just said, just pause for a moment, just pause, right? Have a bit of self-reflection. Now you walk down the street and you bump into that girl. Is that girl going to say, "Ooh, Clarence"?
Yeah, you're everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah, everything
And
that I've
you
ever.
tick all my boxes
All
as
my
well.
boxes, yeah. And you know, like in the Bible, they talk about the rich young ruler. He went away sorrowful. Clarence said he walked away from that
Sorrowful.
meeting
Yeah.
sorrowful.
It,
But
it
made
humbled
it,
him.
but it made him think.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, every time I think of it, I think too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because
I'm thinking now. You know, can I read out something that
Yes.
that might resonate? So it's from the book, and this is of the 10. So there are 10 stories. I call them 10 chapters, but this is chapter 10, and is the love that stayed. So it says they'd both been hurt before, afraid to love again, but this time they brought something different: healed hearts, not broken ones. And the quote is, "The strongest love is not found in another. It's built by two people who have already found it in themselves. That is unshakable."
Mhm.
And the self-reflection question is, how can I work on healing my heart before entering into love again?
Okay, great. So 0745 964 2898. That's 0745 964 2898. Or we are on YouTube tonight, and we are on Instagram, and of course, my Facebook is up. Do come through and let us know if you've got any thoughts, any questions. We're talking to Sally Chiwuzie.
I love how he says my name.
Nah.
What is it? Where is it?
It's right.
No,
It's-
but what is?
I'm Igbo. I'm
Igbo.
Nigerian.
Igbo,
Yeah.
Igbo, I like it.
Yeah.
Chiwuzie. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So yeah, we've got Sally Chiwuzie. See, I got lost at your name. I stopped like my job was over. Sally Chiwuzie is with us in the studio tonight, and she's talking about her book, The Love That Lasts. And we're going to figure out how we get it, how we keep it, how we have it, obtain it. So you mentioned you just read something from chapter 10.
Yes.
But tell us the format, and I'm not sure
Mhm.
that I know still yet what triggered you to write the book. You told me when you wrote it,
Mhm.
but I don't think you told me what triggered you. But tell me
So-
the format of the book, because you said you read something from chapter 10. What's the
did.
format?
So the format is there's an introduction. So it talks about, the past year and how, how hard it was, the things that I did. The various things that happened in that time when Kelly and Chuchu died on the 12th and 14th of February. And I think I spent a lot of time just thinking about so many different things. When I talk about love, this book doesn't talk about love simply from a romantic angle. So there's their family, their things that are their friendships, so is this friendship really good for me? Like I said, when you're running the marathon, and you're training for the marathon, you have a lot of thinking time. For example, on the day of Kelly's funeral, I had to give a speech at the church. And I remember that morning I ran 26 kilometers in the rain before I got there. That's a lot of, and I was just thinking about, why do these kind of things happen? Could it have been prevented? Did she live her life to the fullest? How am I affected? Does this mean I can drop dead at any time? If that's the case, have I given the best that I can? What would my tombstone say? Do people actually love me? Does it matter if people love me or not? But do you see what I mean?
Yes.
All of these things, and it all boiled down to who who even am I?
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's,
yeah,
you know,
That's
so
yeah.
yeah, so who is Sally Chibuzie? Are you, you know, are you these things that you have, these little connections, right? Is this really good for you? Is this, you know, have you handled this in the best way? So, for example, even within family, you have issues, right? You can't get along with everybody. And so it was a process of, okay, Sally, so self-love isn't just about, oh, you know, I need to love myself and protect myself, and then you need to give love and you need to, no, there are also other parts of self-love, like discipline. So discipline where, so for example, creating healthy boundaries with people. Yeah, so there's this quote that says that boundaries aren't just like insurmountable walls. They're walls, but they have windows and doors. So you make little pockets of allowances, like, okay, so this is where, so my love for you means that, okay, I can accept this much of your love, you know, to this degree, and then after that I can't, because you know, this is where I have to put you, and this is for you, but also most is for me, you know, because I don't like the way I am when I'm with you. I don't like the way I am when we fall out. I don't like our relationship when there are no boundaries defined, you know, so that sort of thing. So I thought about that. So I thought
Yes.
about it from friendships. You know, this person you hang out with and you know, you'd like to, you know, do, I don't know, have a coffee together and, you know, you talk about this and that and the other. Is it equal? Are you equally yoked? Do you like the same things? Are your visions the same? Are you moving in the same direction? And if not, isn't that the reason why you have these little fallouts and you don't know, she doesn't understand you, you don't understand her, you know? So what then do you do about that for your own sanity, for you to grow? And bearing in mind, like, if you heal yourself and you project this healing upon this other person, they will grow. Do you see?
Yes,
They
yeah,
will grow.
yeah.
So that's where I think it links back into you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to have something to give. So be it, and that giving isn't necessarily, you know, all my love and affection to infinity and beyond, you know, like take what you can and just drain me. That giving may be the gift of knowledge in that, listen, I'm not going to let you do this to me, you know, and then you need to go think your own self of why you react to me in this way. Let both of us do some growing.
How easy do you think it is to put boundaries in though?
Very, very hard, especially for somebody like me. I'm an empath of life, you know. So I'm the one who sees someone in a gutter, and they say, Sally, like, here, take this rope and go help them out. And then there's me in the process of trying to help you out. I then fall into the
they come out.
Either they come out and leave me in there,
Yeah,
or both of us end up there stuck with no help.
And now we don't have anybody to pull us out.
Exactly, that's me. So to answer your question, Shirley, it's not easy. I think we spend an entire lifetime. You know, this is why I say one of the what should I say, one of the objectives of being unshakable is to be the best version of yourself in existence at every point in time, which means, you know, the only thing you owe to yourself on Tuesday is to try and be better than you were on Monday. So we're going to do that till the day we die. You know, I'll probably be on my deathbed saying, should I have, you know, whatever.
I do better.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. And yeah.
So what triggered you to write the book?
All of these things put together, and then watching all these people come together for this restaurant we went to where the singer was, where she was singing, and I was, you know, in between each song, I did a quote. And
hold on.
10 songs.
But that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you wrote the book 2 weeks ago?
I wrote this book, yeah, in an insomniac episode. I wrote it overnight. So I wrote this book 2 weeks ago, yes.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
I thought the book was written a year ago when your friend died.
No. That's what I was thinking about when I was writing it. Awake at 3 o'clock in the morning where everyone was sleeping on the 15th of February, actually. So
wow.
I can tell you that. And then I put it together and I was like, we have a little book.
Okay. Oh,
What should we do? Like how to publish? Here we
excellent.
are. Here we are.
Well
So it's
done.
actually it's not my first book. So, but
Okay.
this one's very different.
Mm.
The other one is a story, and that was many years ago. And like I said, I do want to publish a few more. But this, do you know? I feel like something compelled me to write this, and
Mhm.
I think this is why I'm not able to answer your question correctly or properly or fully. I don't know. I think like I was saying to Shali that the response has been. I know sometimes like I'm reading people what they because you've seen if you're on my social media you see everyone's reading the book like it's a trending thing at the moment and everyone's writing what they think about it and they're tagging me and I'm just like wow okay
Exactly. Well, no,
yeah,
this
so
is it.
like so
Perfect.
whilst someone was saying to me, Sally, I think the market is saturated with self-love, is saturated with all of this stuff. And do you not think that people are going to be tired of hearing this? And do you know what I think actually? I think the reason why it's saturated with this stuff is because there isn't enough of it. I think people struggle with it's so complex. Love is so complex, So people will struggle with it. So people need to hear this stuff. And what I tried to do was I tried to not just go from one angle, not talking about love, but a man and a woman. I talk about family because siblings fight, and or I talk about friendships. I talk about your own relationship with yourself. So maybe in the book, there's something for everybody because I did try to be as comprehensive as possible.
And
So-
for the listeners out there,
Mhm.
the structure of the book.
Yeah.
What tell us a little bit about the structure now.
Okay. So we have the introduction. So I did the prologue, where I talk about, so I just give a little bit of a foundation about what I think love is,
Mhm.
and then I do talk about what made me kind of go in the direction of writing it. So why do I love the way I do? Why do I hold on so tightly to some people and let go so easily of others? So, and I said here, it makes me realize not all love is equal, nor should it be. So it's the acceptance that love will mean different things to different people, and love has so many degrees, so many capacities. It also has to respect individuality. That's another thing we need to talk about, right? So I'm different from you. So yes, it's really, really naughty not to talk to somebody for 4 weeks because you're obsessed with them. But actually, there are people who, when they're upset, they cannot articulate themselves in that moment and they need some space. So maybe reduce that from 4 weeks to 1 week. You know what I mean? And then that's your healing. Like, yes, results. I'm a better person.
So you mentioned family.
Okay.
That's okay. So everyone always says the thing about the family. Your family is the one set of people that you don't choose. You're given, you're gifted
Stuck with them.
with a family. So when things get difficult with family, it's deep because sometimes these are the people who know you the best, or they've known you the longest, so they know things about you. They know your triggers and everything else that's with it. So when it really, really hurts with family members, how can you push past it and make it last?
Okay. So I think, as with everything, right, Shani, and first of all, can I just put a caveat here? I'm not a therapist. I'm not I don't really know, and I don't feel qualified sometimes to, but what I do have is, I suppose, experience and I think the gift of understanding different energies. So I take a lot of things from different people and I put it together, I think. So articulating what I think is going on in the world is that there's some relationships that I suppose you will never be able to fix. And families fall out. There's some people who will spend an entire lifetime not ever speaking to this person because it's just not good. It's not good for you, right? I guess it's your prerogative, but it's also your responsibility to make sure deep inside that you've done your best. That's all you can ever do. That's all that's required of any of us.
Yes.
You do your best, right? You can't bend over, you bend yourself out of shape because love dictates that you must X, Y, Z. No, you're not supposed to kill yourself in the process. But in terms of family, I think, Charlie, like, if you identify so the same way you identify and the different relationships you have in your life, I don't think it's different for family. That's the one that hurts the most, actually, personally. I think, even more than the relationships that I find with a man or whatever. The family ones are, because, like you said, they're your roots. So I think I think you also have to you put them in boxes, right? So you create your boundaries. This is the limit of what I can do with regard to this relationship. This is where it ends. So some people have more space, they have more entitlement in your life. So you give them more, because they give you more. And the synergy just works. But if you're not equally yoked, and we're back to that again, then what can you do if your ideas just don't match? You're not, what can you do?
But so many people don't realize they're not equally yoked until down the line.
Yes.
Why is it we
So
tell
hard.
ourselves that we are? So we make that square box and we try to put that star-shaped thing in the square box.
Yeah.
And we're pushing, and it doesn't. Why do we do that?
No, well, I think at the beginning of a relationship, you realize that not everybody's the same. We all know that. So at the beginning of a relationship, we're meeting someone new, and you're realizing that they are different from you. So you've got different personalities, and you're just trying to see how you can fit, how you can gel.
Or like change the person as well.
Well, yeah, some people want to do that, but I'm even trying to be a bit more gracious than that. Some people, they meet someone and they just want to change them. But I'm trying to be a bit more great. I'm just trying to be a bit more gracious than that, because let's not say that I'm trying to change you first. Let's say I want to just get to see if our
work out.
if our personalities can work together. So that's in answer to Charlie's question of why do we get down the line before we realize that we're incompatible. And that's because I would be yes, there are those that just want to change, but those that I would suggest, those are the ones that haven't done the self-reflection. But for those that have, what they're trying to do is to say, okay, I've never been the person that goes running 3 times a week, 26 kilometers. Is that something that I can,
by the way? I don't do that every week, by the way.
No, but is that something that I can get into? I've been a stay home and watch Netflix kind of guy. Oh, but you like to go to the gym. Maybe I can go to the gym a few times. So you try it for a few, yes. You try and compromise and see if we are actually compatible. Then down the line you think, Charlie, look at Charlie's face. Charlie's saying,
you know what it is?
I ain't going down the line.
It's that adrenaline. You know that adrenaline you get when you like you just go on holiday, or like
something new.
Yeah,
exciting.
You're just about to go on holiday and you won't sleep all night if you need to pack. You'll be absolutely fine. And then as you hit that airplane, you fall asleep. And I think something that happens in relationships. You meet this nice, shiny person.
Yeah.
They're great. You may not have met a nice, shiny person for a while. So you meet them and they say they like tennis. I like tennis too. And you start
amazing.
You start speed watching some tennis. And so you can have a conversation with them, or whatever it is, and you're just trying to put your best face on all the time, because actually this is a good feeling. It's nice that someone calls me and says, "Get ready, I'm going to pick you up in 5 minutes." Okay. All those big feelings that you feel about it. So you want it to work. And even though he said I'll pick you up in 5 minutes, and an hour later you're still waiting for him, and you're irritated, you're still
Do you
trying
want to
to
give it a
smile
go?
because you're like,
Well, I don't think it's a
oh,
bad thing.
hi
really.
Lucy.
This is Lucy from Valencia.
I don't think it's a bad thing trying. I mean, if
Yeah.
you don't try, you would think you feel like you lost something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the back
yeah.
of your head, you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, what
okay,
if it
we
it
had
could have
tried?
worked?
Yes,
Yeah.
What if you
yes.
had tried harder?
Mhm.
It could have worked. So
Yes.
you trying is not a bad thing.
Mhm,
So if you've done your best and you've gone down that road and you've put in all of that, and it ends up not working. I mean,
At least you tried.
Yeah, at least
Yeah,
you tried.
yeah.
So I think that's something good.
I
Yeah.
think it's
not
something.
really-
Yeah, I
it's
think
not
so.
I think it's something.
Mhm.
Charlie's looking at me. Charlie,
She's not convinced.
she's not convinced that it's something. Listen, no, look, if I met someone that was really into tennis, I wouldn't say, yes, I'm into tennis too, and then go home and watch everything on tennis. What I would say is,
Daddy, is that what you do?
no, she's saying that she doesn't do that. No, she goes, oh, I don't like tennis. That means you're no good for me. No, I'm saying, well, you still could be good for me.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I could get into tennis. I can try tennis. I can try it. So you're just up front. I can try this, and then you take a few lessons, or maybe that person's good enough to teach you, or if they're not, then you got.
Maybe not. Maybe they can go for their tennis.
Yes.
And you can stay at home and cook.
Yeah, but
No,
yeah, no, yes, but
here,
this is
remember?
but
You're trying to be compatible.
yes,
Okay.
because
That
that
one
can
in the
happen.
studio.
Put the X on. Put the X on, Charlie. You could stay home and cook. Yeah, I'll go off and play tennis, and when I come home, I want curry goat. I want curry
Exactly.
mutton. I want no. So no, because at the beginning
Mhm.
you're not saying, I've just met you, so we're not saying, yeah, I'll go play tennis and you stay home. We're trying to get to know each other.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we're gonna see, do we have
Mhm.
shared interests?
Mhm.
Oh, you do something that I
Mhm.
never really thought about. Yeah, I could try that.
Mhm.
You know, that kind of thing. Okay, so let me ask this then. So we're talking about
Mhm.
how to make the love last in a relationship. So in preparation for today, I went and tried to find some notes from different authors
Okay.
on how it could work. And we've talked about what we need to do sort of holistically, but as a specific, they threw out a few ideas or basics of pillars then
Mhm.
of how we could make the love last. And I'll be interested to hear your thoughts about it.
Okay.
So they said key aspects that you should focus on. One is communication.
Mhm.
I'll read them out and then I'll say what they say about them. They say communication, trust, respect, shared experiences like our tennis, support, compromise, affection, and self-care. So that's the list that they've given. How many is that? Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's 8. Why did they say 7? So that, unless I've split one in two. So communication, it says regularly express your needs, feelings, and concerns openly and honestly with your partner. Or if we're not talking just about partners now, we're talking about in the family. So in the situation. So communicate, regularly express your needs,
Mhm.
feelings, and concerns
Yes.
openly and honestly.
Uh,
Would you agree with that?
100%. So I'm definitely one for communication. I probably even talk a bit too much, as it happens, because it's better out than in.
Then
So-
what about meeting someone that struggles to express their needs, feelings, and concerns? I won't say openly and honestly, but because I don't want to give the impression of that I'm being dishonest,
Mhm.
but I just find it difficult to express my feelings and concerns openly. Is that a red flag? Is that a
I
red?
don't think it's a red flag. I mean, people are different, right?
Yeah.
So you can't
Yeah,
hold
you see,
everyone to
Charlie,
the
I've been
same
telling you
standard.
that for 5 years.
People, sorry, the people are you have to give space for individuality.
Yeah.
So I think maybe small wins. So where the person usually wouldn't say anything at all, you can't get anything. If you get one sentence or one tiny little, little bit of openness, then you take it. That's growth, right? That's showing like, they want to try.
Charlie, you're okay with that?
I've got a comment
Yeah.
coming.
She wants to read the
I've got-
comments. She
I've got
doesn't want
comments are coming.
Charlie, I want to know, are you happy with that? That with me not being so open?
You kind of have to be, right? You have to respect people's individuality.
Yeah, I've been telling Sally, I've been telling her.
Yes, no, and maybe.
Huh? Yes,
Yes, no,
no, and
maybe.
maybe.
Yes, no, maybe.
You
Okay.
see?
All right,
See?
let's
Because
do this.
I think yes, there is compromise, but I think there's also certain pillars
Mhm,
on which a good relationship is made out of.
mhm.
And I think communication. So I think there's certain things you can compromise on, but I think others you can't compromise with.
Okay, so where does communication sit in this?
She's saying it's a foundation.
So I think
Okay.
communication is because I think if you it's like I am okay with us sitting in a room and not talking to each other. We don't always have to talk or always have to be or there's a problem. That's not a problem to me, but I think but we do need to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do need to be
Like when
vulnerable.
you say sit in a room and talk, you mean like normal Monday nights we're just chilling and we're not.
Come
Is that
on,
what you're talking
come
about?
from work, whether something's on
Well,
TV,
there's something
whether
called comfortable silence, right? Yeah. So we can
Yeah.
sit in silence and there's no problem.
Yes.
And everyone's okay.
Yep.
That also is healthy. In
Yeah.
fact, that's good because it's not, do you know when like there's, a bit of a disparity between
Yeah.
people is where the silence is uncomfortable.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
in
yes.
silence and everyone's like, what to do, what to do.
And they start knocking stuff that's making
Yeah, you're
Very
quiet.
clearly.
You're quiet. I'm watching a
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
But you can talk to me while you're watching the
Yeah,
movie. No, I can't.
The worst is for me.
EastEnders.
People start reading out loud.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to do all of that.
No, I mean, I'm all for the honesty,
Mm.
but I have to admit that the
It's
expressing
not always easy.
well, the
It
honesty.
doesn't have to be vulnerable.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sip.
82228, right? Hope you get based in your message
Sip.
studio
You
at
sip your drink.
AdventistRadio.London or WhatsApp us on 07459642898. So we've got a comment that's coming.
Mhm.
Hello, Yvonne. Nice to see you today. She says, hello, Charlie, brother Mark. We also have Sally and Lucy in the studio as well, Yvonne. She says, love lasts. When does weekly schedules allow for this? I find, so she's like, when in your weekly schedule do you allow
For love to
love
last.
to last?
She hasn't got time to make love last.
I
Oh,
find in
dear.
London too busy, and if the personality traits are opposite, getting to know someone is in the cave. How long does one wait? Referring to a brick wall of silence. I realize my impatience can affect the situation sometimes. Hello, special guest too.
Well, see, in response, was that Yvonne?
Yes, it
Right,
was
it's
Yvonne.
Yvonne in response to Yvonne. This is why I think we always go back to the self-reflection. So if I'm saying that I want love to last, okay, so I'm in a situation and I want love to last, but I find I'm so impatient with things that aren't necessarily going my way or things that are not the way that I would ideally want them. And I'm getting frustrated and I want to back out of that love, but I want the love to last. And I think it's time to slow down, have some self-reflection, say, what am I going to gain by walking away from this relationship purely because it's not all the things that I want, or you don't do all the things that I want now. Like, you're not open, She makes the point, where do we get time
Mhm.
for this love to last? Well, if you're that impatient and you want it to be perfect day one so that it fits into your schedule, so that you never have to really work on it, put your shoulder to the wheel because, oh, this is hard work, then you probably won't get to the love lasting. Excuse me, the love lasting is the end result of a lot of work that you put in prior to getting there. And so that's the first thing I'd say. It's that, because that is a little bit like,
So hold on. So you mean you can't want the love to last from day one?
yeah, no, you want it to, but I think it's wrong to expect that it will without work. But I want it to. So when I meet you, I want the love to last, but I have to know that for it to last, I have to put certain things in place.
Because you hear people. I remember once I met a lady who said she met a man, and on the same day she met him, they spent a lot of hours just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "This is gonna be my husband." And within 7 days, they were planning their wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Did they get married?
They got married. They got married.
Are they still married?
Oh, doubt.
that-
Yeah, look,
Oh.
we did doubt. We hear doubt. We hear doubt.
No,
We hear
I'm
doubt.
just asking. Crazy
From
things have happened,
from the lady that says love that lasts forever.
It's not doubt. It's
When I met her-
curiosity.
So I
And then
met her.
hold on. This is her version of curiosity. And they're still married. That's curiosity.
When I met her 20 years ago, they had been married for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 25 years later, they're still together. I can't.
know.
Yeah.
I couldn't account for that.
Can we ring her? I really need to know.
I'm desperate to know.
I need
Did it
to
work?
know. Charlie, I'm texting you tomorrow. We'll find out.
Don't have a number. She lives
We
in
don't meet
Korea.
her on Facebook.
No, she's in Korea. It was someone. So it was a long time ago. I met this lady, and I was fascinated by that because you hear people talk about love at first sight, or they
It happens.
or they say or you hear her like in the wedding day speech, the guy went on a date with this girl, and then he called his friend and he said, "This is the one."
Mhm.
And you hear these things all the time.
Yeah.
And I think I am really fascinated in terms of what was that feeling, or how did she make you feel, or what happened in that moment that you said to yourself or said to somebody out loud,
Yeah, this is
that
the one.
person is the one, and you then, to me, at that point, you then committed yourself to doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said to yourself, if this is going to be the one, I'm going to do
Mm-hmm.
all I can to make sure that I marry her, or that we're okay.
I think I have my own version of the answer to this question. They felt like home. That's
Okay.
why.
Yeah.
They felt like home.
Yeah.
So home is not just a building, or a home is a feeling. So in their company, they probably felt safety. And then there was the inner voice thing, there's instinct, which is very strong, sometimes. I mean, sometimes God will make you wait for like 10 years. Yes. So sometimes God is like, ta-da, here's your miracle.
Everyone said potluck love.
Love. Yeah, maybe. Because it happens. You know why I really think it happens? It happens because some people win the lottery. Why haven't you won the lottery, or I haven't won the lottery? For
Don't
example.
buy a ticket, apparently.
That's one thing.
Allegedly.
For some people who buy the tickets, I think I've won £120 once, but that's it. But these things happen, and then they go on and they live happily ever after, like Walt Disney cartoons, and then for some other people it's just not that easy. It's so
I was having a conversation with a gentleman, was it yesterday or the day before? And we were speaking, he was explaining to me in terms of his brother, who's very much financially driven, big house, big car, big. And he says he's just he's the total opposite to his brother. But he says he feels wealthier than his brother because his wife, his kids, what the things that he has around him is so
Solid
genuinely,
friendships,
and
yeah.
they're so. He said he doesn't have people around him that aren't like him, so he has similar people around him all the time because he knows what he needs. He knows he can give. They give back what he gives, so it works for him. And I just thought that was. I just thought a lot of us miss that because we're searching for things, not realizing. And I think COVID brought a lot of that home to people because, and one saying I always said is that if you lived in a 12-bedroom house through COVID and you hated the people that lived in that house, it would feel like a 1-bedroom flat because you couldn't go out. You're stuck in this space, and it would feel like the smallest space in the world. And then to the guy, I said it to the guy, and he told me about this children's book about an old lady who lived in a small house, and some man said, she said, I want a bigger house. So he said, here's a chicken, here's a cow, and he put all these animals in a house, and he kept packing up her house with animals, and then he removed all the animals from the house, and then she actually appreciated the space that she had because she realized she thought it was small, but when he packed all these animals into her house, she realized, well, the house is big. All these things in my house, get them out, and woo.
Well,
Yeah,
I've now
my
got all of
space.
that space. Yeah. Okay. All right. No, I'm for that. So the
Are
second
we
one,
agreed?
well, Charlie and I you'll take more than 2 hours with Charlie and I to agree. No,
He doesn't communicate well.
Yeah.
82228, right? Hopefully with space, send your message. Studio@Adventist Radio London is our email, and our WhatsApp number is 07459 642 Over to you, Mark.
And she always says that when she loves a grenade, and then she starts to read the numbers so that I can't answer her, you see. But so the second thing on that list was trust. So we've got communication.
Big one.
Big one.
I think trust, if you can't trust, wait,
Like, these two my list.
I'm on the same notes as you. No, but I mean, yeah, because a lot of the different people that I went to their comments, they came up with a very, very similar list. So I've got to trust that the list is fairly encompassing and accurate. Trust. I think trust is the big one. I think the trust is even bigger than communication. It's bigger than communication. Trust is the big one. If you're not trusting of what's going on in this relationship, you can't really function. You can't really be yourself because you're always
Can't
going
relax.
to, you can't relax. You're always going to be guarded. So their idea of what could help to make our love last is you're in a relationship that you trust what is going on, because you're always going to be on edge. Well, I know this is supposed to happen now, but I'm not really sure. I hope it does, but and that's not a good way to live. You give yourself ulcers. You make yourself sick.
Yeah.
I always assume trust.
Yeah.
I always start from a place that you are going to be honest with me.
Yeah.
And if you break that, then you've broken that. And opposed to, some people start the opposite way and say, well, I don't trust you. You need to earn my
trust. Yeah.
But I guess I prefer to start off with you're honest, you don't lie, you don't, and then if something then happens, then that's your doing.
Yeah.
Because I trusted you.
Yeah. To
think
start,
that's fair.
that's fair. And to start off not on that foot, you're almost again tying your one hand behind your back.
Yeah.
Because you're entering a relationship with somebody new. And if you start saying, well, I'm not really sure about it, then you're giving yourself barriers that you don't need. Doesn't mean to say that you should be what would you say with the opposite, the extreme of that, like put yourself in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not put yourself in any kind of jeopardy. But I think trust is a very,
Yeah,
very
I
big
was gonna
one.
say foolish, but I suppose
Yeah.
that's more polite.
God, that is foolish.
Like, don't,
Yeah,
don't be foolish.
Don't put yourself in jeopardy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's go with that.
Hey, no. But yeah, don't be foolish either.
Oh, yeah.
No. Because
No,
yeah, don't be
yeah.
foolish. Don't
Yeah.
be foolish. Because you could be putting yourself in jeopardy without being foolish. But yeah. Don't be foolish or put yourself in jeopardy. How's that? How's that?
Yeah,
How's
that
that?
works. Mhm.
Respect is a big one. Respect is a big one. Too many times that you'll see an unbalanced relationship, and that could be sibling, could be lovers, spouses, friendships, even friendships on a football team, or relationships at work, whatever. Respect for any relationship to grow, develop, last, there has to be mutual respect. Without it, then it has to die. It has to die at some point. At some point, the lack of respect will kill it. At some point, the lack of respect will kill it. So respect was number 3 on their list.
Respect.
Yeah.
Go on.
No. Sorry, you go. Okay. I was gonna go deeper into respect. I think I think it's also about positioning, so how you see somebody. So there's certain things. So like me, for example, as a woman, I find that I like guys who are a little bit older. So that's my own thing. And the reason is I think I like the wisdom that comes with it. Maybe stop smiling like that. I don't know why you're smiling. It's like because you're gonna say something.
You know,
now,
you know what? You know what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But the older you get, they get older too. Sorry, but anyway.
I'm gonna say something even really more terrible, but no, I think I'm not. I was gonna say maybe that's not
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm still here, guys.
What about you, Mark?
I'm still sitting here, guys.
82288.
I'm still sitting here.
So I think so if you know the kind of things that attract you, then maybe you need to go for those. So I find that with the younger people, or if you're not that if we're not on par, we kind of have to have maybe similar visions. I need to be, so the relationship has to be symbiotic. So I get something from it, and and I give you something in return. When you're with someone and you're giving and giving and giving, you don't find them interesting, they don't have any visions that appeal to you, maybe that kind of thing. So I think it's very difficult for respect to then for there to be respect in that situation. So I think we also have to kind of create the situation, so go with somebody you respect, basically. That makes it easier in the first instance, because all of the love dovey, the butterfly in the stomach thing, that dies, right? Eventually, and then you're stuck with the truth, the real person. And then
she makes that sound very romantic, doesn't she? And then when all the butterflies have gone, you're stuck with what's left. This is the author of The Love That Lasts. Then you're just stuck with what's left.
Well, what I mean is, when all of that dies, the butterflies in the tummy and all of these, the initial,
the butterflies can last a long time.
Well,
they don't
not forever though. So that initial feeling, it's not the same way you feel about, being with someone in year 1. You still feel exactly that same way 25 years later. It's been the same person doing the exact same thing.
That's the type of Luther Vandross love that I want.
Me too. Alas, I think we have to get it from Walt Disney. Yeah, Cinderella and Aladdin and so on. So yeah. So sadly, this is why we have to work hard. So you can keep the.
This is why we have to write the book. The Love That Lasts. The Love That Lasts. so we know how. Well, the next one on the list, I really do like, and this is probably something that if I was seeking a relationship, would be the first thing that would be on my mind, and that would be the shared experiences. That's why I made that point about when you mentioned tennis earlier on. I said, well, if I didn't ever play tennis, I would say, look, I'm not a tennis player, but hey, let's learn. I'll learn, or let's get a coach, or let's whatever it might be. Let's have that shared experience. That on a Thursday we go and play tennis. Might be we play very badly, and in that, because it says you've got to do something that creates a memory.
Yeah, I do believe there's something very exciting about doing the same thing. So there's a special place in my heart, for example, for my friends who I run with. Is a bond, because nobody else can understand the madness. Because running such in the way that I do, obsessively and most irrational, illogical, it doesn't make any sense. There's me out there in the rain when everyone is under their duvet, right? So the people who understand why I'm out there running, when we have a coffee, it's not just a coffee, it's a, do you know what happened? And do you know this is one, and like mile 3, blah, blah, like, oh, really? And yes, I know nobody else can understand that. So that's why, that's what that's talking about. So I know it's not the same as being, with a man or, whatever, but it's still, it's very,
But it could be, because if you're coming back from your run and you say, do you know what happened at mile 14? He just goes, I told you shouldn't run. That's not helping you, is it? Yeah, well, don't tell me, because I just think I should take your trainers away. It's not helping at all.
I suppose I suppose the shared experience in that is maybe the you come home to the person who's run an ice bath for you, because they know that when you're training for a marathon and you've run 26 kilometers, you need to have an ice bath when you get home. Or
You just put me off of the running 26. Coming home to the ice bath. No.
Yeah, I had to do that. It was awful, actually. I did like them, but it's back on.
She said, okay, sorry. Donna said, I've had to pull over. I'm with you, Charlie. I want the butterflies. The Luther Vandross glove is so amazing. Yes. Anyway,
what is the point?
Otherwise, what's the point? And I think the older you get, when starting out in a relationship, your expectations, because especially if you've gone through a period of time of being single, you're not going to break that just to say, oh, there's somebody next to me. You want the right person.
You want the real thing. Yeah.
You want the real thing. You're not going to waste your time. You're not going to waste your energy. You're not going to do the whole staying up all night having conversations, talking about your likes and dislikes for no reason, for it to go nowhere. So at this stage in life,
but at the same point, you don't want it to become almost like a functional business arrangement, do you? You don't want it to just be matter of fact. It's still got to be exciting. It's still got to be.
But I think, for me, I want, if I'm going to engage in a relationship with someone in 10 years' time, I still want to look at him and say, ooh.
No, 100%.
So I agree. So when I said about the, that bit dies, and it doesn't, not all of it dies. The love still remains, and you still look at them in the same way. But I'm saying that giddy excitement of that teenage.
I want in 10 years' time to still be giddy.
I still
want. You know that feeling when someone comes and someone's at the airport. You're gonna pick up someone that you haven't seen, a family member, and they land.
You're so happy.
They've land, and everyone's coming around the bed. You're like, oh, not yet. And then you see them, and you're like, oh, I want that feeling every time they come home from work.
Okay.
And I think it's realistic.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I think it is, but to an extent. I'm saying that I don't think that whole thing, I don't think that the very feeling in the beginning, I don't think that's gonna go all the way. I think it transcends into something else, something equally beautiful. Yeah, something equally beautiful. So something that feels like that thing. But that beginning, I think that's physical attraction, right? And while it remains, I think it's kind of eventually like fizzles out a little bit because it grows into something deeper and something more than just the electricity.
So
The relationship can't survive on electricity alone.
Oh, someone says it's not possible, Charlie.
There you go.
Oh.
Someone agrees with me, finally.
no, no, finally,
I don't know who that is,
Yeah.
but you ain't loved me yet.
In fact, I'm sure you're missing comments on your Instagram. I can't see your screen. I'm sure you're missing comments.
No,
on
I'll
your
keep an
Instagram.
eye on it now that I know that's what it is. So,
Yeah.
okay.
That's her Instagram.
Because it's directly.
Because I think it can. I think it might change. It's not the same feeling because that same feeling is almost an unknown feeling. It's an unknown romantic
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah.
And
No,
And I
no,
know,
no, no.
I
We
know
define-
Shani supports that, yeah.
We defined
right.
romance 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It is the mystery that creates excitement in a situation of love, in an environment of love.
Reminds me every day.
Excite you.
Excite me every day.
Hit you with
Every
mystery.
single hit me with a mystery stick every single day. You know what? See, no. No, I don't think that's it.
No. After the week, that is no mystery. That is no mystery.
But listen, I will always be the first to say I am very, when it comes to love, I am very old school. I am very I want to be, let's go walking in the rain. Let's go. I mean, I love all those little nuances, those little attention to detail. I love all those things because I think those are the things that will keep you interested.
And you can still do them.
You can,
Later,
exactly. You can.
So I think what Sally's saying is that you'll still do that, but the relationship will change and grow and develop and mature.
Into something
So
else.
it's growing to something else, and you can still have mystery and excitement and romance. It doesn't mean that the romance and excitement and mystery.
So don't stop putting the little notes in my handbag for me to find, and don't stop cutting the sandwiches in triangles and giving me the, you know what I mean?
No, so what he'll do then, he'll cut it in a different shape. That is the mystery. That's it. What shape am I gonna get today?
But I want the crust.
Whatever you need, man. Whatever you need.
For me, I love to try. I love like what she said, the new
Shani,
things.
yeah.
New things, excitement. Just keep
Yeah,
it going.
keep it-
Just
yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
keep it coming.
New,
Just
exciting,
it's like-
interesting.
thing.
It doesn't have to be the,
Yeah.
you know.
Just that'll keep the love
Yeah, it keep
Mhm,
growing.
mhm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. She said, so someone says both of you have to be on the same path. I suppose, yeah. So can you
Yes.
imagine putting Shali with somebody who doesn't believe at all in romance of any kind? It's never going to work, right? There'll be no compromise, no respect. Alas, it's never going to work. So you have to
Yeah,
find somebody who wants, who wants to do these things.
Good luck with that.
So,
But you know, but you know what
I'm joking because I'm very much that way. Yeah.
But I know I find sometimes it's people love to feel that way,
mhm.
but people don't want other people to feel that way.
but sometimes they don't know how. Some
Mhm.
people don't know how.
Yes. Yeah, we
Mm,
talked
yeah.
about that in the first week, didn't
Yeah.
Sometimes
So-
they don't even know how.
we? Yeah, we talked about that in the first week.
You have to be teachable. You have to
have to try.
if you it's like if you know, like you go somewhere, like recently I went to a coffee shop which will remain nameless, and I bought a
Why?
many reasons, I'll tell you later. I bought a hot chocolate. It was a coconut hot chocolate,
Mm.
and it tasted like a warm Bounty bar.
Oh,
It was like, and
I want to go to this cafe. Can we go?
yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, you just like, you want to go home and how can I make it? How and it's that feeling in terms of when someone does something really nice for you,
Mm.
the response to that is also to do something, want them to have that same experience, that you open a door and there's a bunch of flowers, or you go to work and there's something in your handbag, like a little note in your handbag that you knew was
That's sweet.
And if you like that feeling, then your want should be to give them back a feeling similar. Your want shouldn't be for them to keep making you feel this way,
Yeah.
and you're not giving them back what they've given to you. And I think that's something that I struggle with, because there's so many selfish people
Yeah.
who view love in a very selfish manner. What can I get from it? What can you give to me? Me, 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 me. And they're not thinking about how the other person will feel, or how the other person wants to be loved.
Yeah. Or this is what I want to give you, and just be happy with that. So it's, yeah, I want to be generous, but this is what I'm giving you. And there's no room for me understanding, well, this is not quite what I want. You know, no, this is what I'm giving you. You know,
Yeah.
I might be a man that I just decide I'm giving you flowers. That's not quite doing it for you. And I'm just not hearing that, because I gave you flowers. I gave you flowers. I bring you flowers every week.
Isn't that when the love languages clash? So your
Yes.
love language is acts of service, and mine is like, I don't know, words of affirmation or whatever. And then they're, you know, and
Yes.
so I'm not understanding
I
that
guess
this is
that's
what
when
you
we
want,
get-
and you're not understanding that this is what I want.
Yeah.
So that's another.
But we should know that early.
But then that's
We-
where
we
that's
sh-
what loops back to number one,
Communication.
communication.
Yeah, but we should know. That's what I'm saying. We should know that early.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be finding that out late.
Mhm.
But you know what I don't like? And I said this the other week with Isaac, and I said people are using love languages as a buzzword these days. This is ridiculous program that I love to watch, and I don't know why. Pop the balloon, but anyway,
That's
and
what it's called.
it's and find love. So if you they come out, and if you don't like them, you just pop your balloon. But anyway,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
If you
seen
don't
that.
like them, or if you do
don't
like
if
them,
you don't like them, you pop the balloon and
Okay.
you find love. But and
well, pop your balloon and don't find love then.
well, that's what happens. But anyway,
Yeah.
and I think everyone on there, what's your love language? And sometimes they say stuff like going to the park. That's not a love language.
They don't know. Are these Gen Zs?
They don't understand what it is, but because it's a buzzword, and because everyone's talking about it,
Yeah, they use it incorrectly.
they use it incorrectly, because actually you have to go through the survey and you have to get a result at the end, and your love language also isn't fixed. So because right now I've gone through a whole lot of grief, for example, my love language might be physical touch.
Yeah.
And that's what I might need right
At that
now.
time.
But another time in my life when I'm not going through anything traumatic, I might want words of affirmation. So it's not, it may change. It's not gonna be the same forever.
Listen, I need you to decide. What's your love language? We're not having this week, this, that week, that. No. Just decide. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, but all right. So where does that leave us? Oh, I've got support. This is another thing to keep out the love.
What does it
Make the
say?
love last. So support, encourage each other's personal growth and goals.
Yeah, that's
How
what we
often
said.
do people have to? They're almost. I mean, a simple thing, a very simple thing, but then as a woman that really wants to, and I know her, a woman that really wants to learn to drive and get a bit of independence, so that not everywhere that she needs to go, she has to get a taxi or get her husband to drive.
Mhm.
You know, and he did everything to
He could.
sabotage
What?
just the growth of getting independence a car.
He did.
Yeah.
Why? You like
Control.
independence? You
Control.
enjoyed. Okay.
Yeah, and just a simple thing as that, support them in their growth and goals, and that goes. I mean, some actually, you know what? I think some of these things go such a long way, and if we could just get into doing these steps, because after that, I've got affection and self-care, and we can go into what they say about them. But when you look at them. What's the hardest one of? You know what the hardest one of all of those were?
Communication.
Trust.
Yeah, no, trust isn't hard. I don't think.
But that would have been the hardest one for me.
Yeah, communication. Not just communicate, because I could communicate, but not just communication, but when they talk about expressing your needs, feelings, and concerns, I guess that's only hard because I don't trust. I guess if I trusted, it would be easy. I think
Which one do you think is mine?
hardest.
Usually,
Yeah,
I think it's trust.
Mm-mm.
I think it's trust.
Mm-mm.
I would guess trust for you, the hardest.
I just looked at the list and I thought to myself, I think mine is respect.
Hardest?
You won't be able to respect. But
You
you're
don't
not
respect me.
You're generally
You don't respect me.
very
Charlie.
giving in respect.
But I think the problem I have is if I'm disrespected.
Ah,
Oh, the other way around.
no,
Yeah,
no,
Ross,
yeah,
yeah.
yes. We can't start there. We can't start there. We can't start there. No, because you're immediately starting at the point of a negativity. We're saying that we're meeting someone and we're trying to build a relationship. And as I build a relationship, what in me is the hardest one of these to attain? And you're saying respect if he's already disrespected me.
Okay.
So no, we're on a level playing field at this point. So I think my hardest one, you see, I say my hardest one is the communication, and I say not the trust, but the only reason why I don't communicate
It's because you don't
is
trust.
because I don't trust. So
Chicken and egg.
I get yeah.
No, trust then is higher than
So
communication.
trust, I guess, is
Okay.
higher. No, I've got the answer. It's not. It's like you with the respect. If I have not been disrespected
Yeah.
or given a reason to not
Mhm.
trust,
Okay.
I'm good with the communication.
Okay.
If I get to a point where I have been disrespected or there is something going on that is causing me not to trust, and I'm still in a relationship that I really want to work, but I'm in that place of not sure, then I can still be there, but the communication's gone. Vulnerability. They're after you.
Thank you for that vulnerable moment.
Yeah, they're after you.
Like you, Lucy.
They're after you. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that they're not out to get you.
Why can't you trust?
No, nobody wrote that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why can't you trust?
Oh, they're
Who's
asking you.
they're asking me or you or
Oh, Charlie.
Never mind. It was you.
yes, you. Yeah.
Why can't you trust, Mark?
I can.
Go on, tell us a story.
I can
Once
trust.
upon a time.
No, I do trust and I can trust and I don't have a huge issue with trust. I'm very trusting and very trustful.
And it's like
And
8
very-
238.
And I'm very trustworthy.
Hold on, Lucy, what was yours? on
Yeah,
that
Lucy,
list?
let's ask Lucy.
Yeah, the one you struggled with. Yeah. So I said, what did I say? I said trust, I think would be the hardest for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Should we read it out again?
So
Yeah.
we've got communication, trust, respect, shared experience, support, compromise, affection, and self-care.
I think trust.
yeah, I think trust.
Trust is the top
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Trust is the top
Yeah.
one.
All of us are agreed on that, actually. I think, except Charlie doesn't want to be disrespected under any circumstance.
Yeah. So you meet some guy meets her at a party and says, "Can I buy you a drink? Are you going to disrespect me? Are you disrespecting me right
I
now?"
can't buy my own drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Well,
trying to say
well.
you're trying to say that I can't buy my own drink.
Yeah.
But
Oh dear.
I think that's okay. No, we're a happy show, so let me not. But I'm just
We're
thinking.
a happy show, but go on, make your point.
I think the respect thing is it's and it's weird because young people like to use you need to respect me and you're like you have to earn respect.
Earn respect, yeah.
But it's just that you know what I mean. I think there's so many things people do now which is disrespectful, and some people don't even realize that it's disrespectful, and they've normalized it and it's normal behavior and it's not okay. And because I
Can we
think,
have examples? So we know exactly, just any random example.
no, that's not, because that's not normal. It's only special people do that. Because I'm gonna say something like, oh, holding a door open for you instead of letting it slam you in your, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you're behind someone. The common courtessy is just to hold the
Let
door
them-
for them.
Mhm.
It's not gonna make you late for a meeting if
Mm.
you hold the door for them. But they just,
Mm.
and I just think that's
Yeah, but if you were in a relationship with somebody, they would always hold the door for you.
No,
Always?
not everyone. No, and not always, certainly not always. Sometimes they might forget, you know. So
They might forget that they're in a relationship with you.
to open the door. But yeah, it should be natural, but you know, it not
you
always
do.
is.
when you reach your destination, you just sit in the car. And you see him walking down the road, you think,
Hello.
then he comes and he opens his door, looks at, you're right.
Opens his door, yeah.
It's like,
No, you can't coerce that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It has to be natural. But I mean, I can't imagine being in a relationship and not holding the door for my wife or whatever. I have got out the car and let her get out the car herself. Trust me, that's not the worst thing I've done.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing I've done. So I have done that, but I can't imagine us like walking somewhere and not holding the door open. That I don't get that. I can't even picture it really.
Really?
really? Well, that's good.
Even to the point where I think you're taking the mick
No.
because it just seems like how could you not?
But you see, not everyone has the same training. Not everyone picks up certain values.
Mm.
And that's why it's important to make sure you're passing the right values to your children because and they understand what the expectation is. So for example, if you've got a daughter, letting her know that what's expected. You know what I mean? So it's not okay for him just to let the door swing and then you're behind the other side of the door. Ooh,
No,
you know what I mean? And go through.
I
and
just
go
can't even picture that, to be honest.
But people,
What-
you
what-
see it though. I've seen it. I've been out and you think to yourself, are they in a relationship? Even if they were, and that's the thing about even if they weren't in a relationship,
If you're
you
with
shouldn't do it.
if you're with, yeah, I don't see that. So what I have to note to self, make sure that I open the car door every time.
Oh, I think I'm gonna have to teach my boys how to, you know.
Yeah, to do that,
to
yeah,
do that as
yeah,
well, so. if
yeah,
you could
because
build
sometimes
that.
it is upbringing, right?
And then but
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah.
in my defense, I shouldn't even bother really, should I?
Say it.
I should just let it
No,
just
tell
say-
us,
Depends.
tell us.
defense so that
Depends.
so you can slap it
So we
down.
can shut it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bring
No,
it.
no. Sometimes by the time I get out the car, and once I'm out the car, closing my door, she's already out the car, or she's already
But
opened
then
the door.
that's okay then.
Guess
Yeah, it's
what? Guess
okay.
what?
Because she's used to I do it. She's used to the fact
That
that
you
I don't come round to open it. She said, well, I might as well just get out myself. What am I sitting here for?
Wow, listen,
Oh, no.
we've got messages that have come through.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
come
Let's
on.
see.
I can see it from here. That's Sabrina.
Sabrina says, hi, Mark, Charlie, and guests. Love the banter. I agree. Trust is paramount. When it's broken, it's very hard to mend, like the diary of a mad black woman.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said. No, that's from earlier on today. So yeah, it just came through. I refreshed it and they came through. So
Yeah.
Okay, is that the only one?
yeah, that's the only
Okay,
one that
we've got
came
one
through.
here. It says, he says, I do the same with a car door, so don't feel bad. I'm with you on that one, but I'll hold the door and let the wife go first.
Yeah. I think the car, yeah, I'm really not defending this, but I think what happens a lot is that you come out, they come out. They're coming out, you're almost coming out at the same time.
Okay,
But
hold on, Mark.
I will have to make
Ladies,
wait, you can tell them to
who
wait
is
now.
hearing, who can hear my voice this evening? We need to normalize
Yes.
waiting,
Mm.
the wait.
Yeah,
The
we
wait-
need to wait
we
to
need
give
to
them
wait
a chance.
to give them the opportunity
Yes.
to open the doors for us, because what I'm hearing is we are too eager to walk out the car.
No, but sometimes we're in a hurry, man.
No.
Run round then, run
There is
round.
no hurry. That means that you should be opening the car door for yourself.
Oh dear.
Mhm.
So this week, let's experiment.
Okay.
Let's just wait in
Yeah.
the car.
Well,
Lucy, remind me, I'll remind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
In the car, see what
Sally's
happens.
skeleton discovered.
sit in the car, waiting,
You know what?
waiting,
100
waiting.
years later, waiting for someone to open
Wait,
the
wait,
garden.
there's a play, Waiting for Godot, and the whole play is about these two men waiting, and they're waiting for somebody who never comes, and they're not quite sure if they're coming, but they're waiting. But well, they're sure he's coming, but he's not. It's called Waiting for Godot. It's a whole 2-hour play, you know. They're just sitting there waiting.
But let's see how far the men get.
Mhm.
If they get into the restaurant, sit at the table, open the menu, and realize you're still in the car waiting for them.
No, because I never get out and walk off. Like, the only times I've ever done that is like, say, like we're going to church,
Mhm.
and I'm doing something, I'm leading out, so I've got to run. So we get there, boom, boom.
There's nothing.
I'll even drop the car key and
There's
say,
nothing
This is no
more
justification.
important
Then opening
then
the
open
car.
the car door.
opening, so she doesn't do any heavy work.
Okay.
Anything.
The car door's not heavy work, Charlie.
You see what car you drive? No.
Opening the
So,
car door is not heavy
This,
work.
so
No, but in all
next
seriousness,
season we need some feedback on this door.
no.
Yes,
No,
yes.
I'm
I'm
gonna make
coming
the
back
effort.
just to hear this feedback.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna make the effort. I'm gonna make.
We have comments. We have comments. Trust. Some people are transactional in their relationships because that's what they see. Some people are more selfless, so they naturally see others more. I actually agree with that.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I
that makes
really,
sense.
don't like the transactional. I
Yeah.
don't like it. I don't like hearing about it.
Mm.
I don't even like seeing it in a TV drama. It will turn me off of the drama. I just don't like that
Mm.
transactional thing. I really don't like it at all.
And I don't know if okay, so he says also we'll be waiting till Jesus comes. I don't
Oh,
know if
no,
this- if
no,
this
no, no,
refers
no.
to the door. Yeah.
No. I've done my self-reflection, and I'm going to. I'm not saying I never do it. I just have to be honest and say I don't do it all the time. So I have to.
You do it more
Or-
consciously.
Or as you pull up and they say, wait here.
I'll come round.
And
Yeah.
then you come around, they say, wait here.
Yeah.
That gentle tap, you
Yeah,
know?
no, that works. That
And
works.
you know what? And if you tap in the right direction, you'll get shivers down the spine too.
Oh my
I
goodness,
will,
Charlie,
she
you're
will.
such a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, I'll get the
Right.
shivers, or she will.
She will.
She will, not you.
Yeah.
But then, you know, shouldn't
And
you
it-
feel good
no,
about
no,
the
no.
fact that she
And if
feels
she
good?
feels good,
And so you feel good.
you feel better.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Anyway, 82228, right? Hoping for space.
I love what you guys do. I love it. I love it.
82228, right? Hoping for space, then your message.
And he also says they always come out late. I'm already in the car.
Doesn't matter. And I think, you know what?
Oh,
Why we go?
Who's already in the car? The driver or the man?
The man.
The man's already in the car. So when she comes out,
No,
no, I don't. If I'm even ready and she's not ready, I never wait in the car. I always wait in the house. So yeah. So the whole all right, good.
Yeah.
Note to self. I've got my notes.
Yeah. Says, wait. I wish it was like waiting for British rain. That's always guaranteed.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Some of these ladies are not trusting. They're not confident, are they?
Listen. I firmly believe in I don't want to say it that way because that would make it sound really bad. But I think there's sometimes we need to show people how to love you.
Yeah.
Some people naturally know what it is for whatever reason in life. They
That's
understand,
communication, Shadi.
they understand what it is, they get it. But sometimes I remember speaking to a lady who, and I don't know if I've shared this before, who she married a man who was a virgin. She was not. And I remember having a conversation, and she was speaking about the fact that she was not she was not enjoying their intimacy.
Yeah.
She was not enjoying
She
it.
wasn't
Yeah,
enjoying
because
her.
he was new.
He was
Yeah,
new to
he
the
was new, and
business.
she was not. And I said to her, "Oh, that's your fault." And she looked at me and she said, "What do you mean it's my fault?" I said, "It's your fault." I said, "Because why are you giving him the impression that it's okay?"
good,
I said, "You haven't stopped him
Mhm.
in the track. You haven't," I said, "and you don't need to do it abruptly or anything else. You make it all part, you make it all part of the
Yeah,
intimacy
you
that
can
you're doing.
teach. Yeah, you
You
can
can
show
teach.
him what
You
you
can
like.
Teach from the back seat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just different ways of doing it. But I think, and she said, I never thought about that. She just thought, well, I'm just
You
gonna
have to massage his ego all the time and make him feel good.
and I'm just gonna put up with it
Mhm.
because I have no other option than to put up with it. Sorry, than to put up with it. But actually, no, you do have options, and I think if you're if a man for whatever reason doesn't want to buy flowers because he may have had a bad experience before buying someone flowers, for example.
No, maybe he just doesn't know he's supposed to buy flowers or
no,
doesn't understand the concept of buying flowers.
Or maybe one time he bought a lady some flowers. She says, "You bought me lilies. Lilies stand for death." And then he was horrified.
There
So
you go.
he says he wouldn't do that again.
Mm.
So then you say, "Well, I like flowers." So then when you go to the florist and you look, "Oh, these are nice," and you speak about it and you have that type of conversation, because then he'll know that actually she likes flowers. And if he's one that listens and pays attention to detail, then you'll come home one day and you'll see those beautiful flowers that you saw in the shop at the correct shade. That's my name is Charlie, and I'm finished speaking.
It says here, in order to make this love last, you have to listen actively. That's another one. You've got to listen actively.
You've got to listen actively. Yes, no, but that's exactly what she says.
Yeah.
You know, so if you don't know how to buy flowers, or you don't know that you're supposed to buy flowers, and she says it in all kinds of ways, including directly, then you should listen.
Yeah.
And you should.
Then there's a fundamental communication issue. Sorry.
Yeah.
You read the comment.
She says, when you find that one, ask him if he's got any brothers, uncle, or friends. Yeah.
Oh dear. Some of the ladies are not very confident about us men.
But
They're
listen,
not very confident about us men.
I
We're
think
gonna
he's
make the
there.
love last. Watch it. You
Yeah.
watch it.
I think he's there. I think he's there. Once
Yeah,
got
he's
3 foot
right
2,
here. He's in the room.
there.
Charlie, he's in the room with you right now.
Thank you, Jesus.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We all feel his presence.
Oh dear, man. You guys are hard. You guys are hard. Okay, so
I've got something I want to read.
Go on.
I've been looking at it for a little while. It says, "Stop trying to love. There is no try in love. It's energy of a high frequency. It's already here. You just need to get out of its way. Stop needing, stop wanting, stop expecting."
Supposed to be natural. I understand what
I like
that's
that.
saying.
I
do
like that.
like it. However, there's something to be said about, with love, you need a little bit of effort to make it work. So even communication is effort. Like
But-
even to tell someone you like flowers is, making an effort to open up, communicate. So yeah, if you just sit there and just say, well, I'm not supposed to say anything, therefore he should automatically know that to get me flowers, then do you know what I mean?
No, but
Such a balance.
I do like that, because what I see that as is I think that sometimes we do get in the way. We get in the way of love. So love could be growing, developing, blossoming, whatever. And sometimes we do things that get in the way of it, stop it. And if we got out of the way, it would grow, it would develop naturally. I can see that point. Yeah, there might be other things that you have to do to guide it, shape it, No, not like that, like this. That's not my favorite. This, You know, have you ever thought, I'm not just a lilies person, I'm a chrysanthemums, whatever, orchids, whatever it might be. I don't like steak restaurants. I like whatever, So there's guidance, but I think sometimes love, I do see a lot of sense in that love can last, because a lot of the time that I think that that we have a problem in a relationship, and I'm only speaking about when both parties want it to work. Because if one party doesn't want it to work, then all of this conversation is mute. When both parties want it to work, I do see a lot of the problems is that somehow, somewhere along the line, we let something else get in the way. Not the fact that I don't shut the door or you don't shut the door. It might be that I said I have to utterly refuse to open the car door, which is then I'm putting something in the way of the development. I refuse to buy you flowers. I don't believe in this anniversary celebration thing. I don't whatever it might be. No, I'm never going to the in-laws for dinner.
Oh dear.
Whatever, and then that causes a little bit of resentment, and this thing could grow, it could develop. So I think there's a lot of wisdom in there in that statement, Charlie, because for two people that really want it to work, I think that a lot of the time is that what goes wrong is that we put allowed something to get in the way, and get it out of the way, man. What I can tell you is that if you have put something in the way, it's a lot harder to get it out of the way once you put it in there, because once it's in the way, you're then not communicating. You're not communicating. You're a bit untrusting, and you start to lose respect. So you got 3 out of the 8, boom, because I put something in the way, and it's caused this, whatever this problem is, and we can't talk about it. I now don't trust you, and I certainly don't respect you. We're not going on any shared experiences. I'm not going. You better live on the experiences of last year, because I ain't going anywhere with you this year. And then so Paul, I'm not sitting here listening to you and encouraging you with your growth. What about my growth that you got in the way of? So immediately, boom. Affection, you're having a laugh. Compromise, no way. My way or the highway. Self-care is the only one I'm in for now, and I'm taking care of me. All because I let something get in the way.
So, Sally, tell us about self-care.
Self-care. So I think from the point of view of self-love, I suppose self-care is making sure that you within yourself, that you are you're happy. So if you're not happy, then you're not going to be, so everything else will suffer as a result of you not being happy within yourself, I suppose.
Not being whole,
not being whole.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there are bits missing if you're not talking about it, or there's compromise and there's sabotage. So you're self-sabotaging, as in the name of compromising. So you're I suppose you're giving so much of yourself.
All right. See, I would say me first.
Yes, exactly.
Me first.
Yeah, me first. And the me first thing might sound selfish, but it's actually a way of saving the relationship. Because if you're okay, then you want to try, then you're happy with this shared experiences, then you're open to compromise, and then you want to communicate, and then so it starts with you. You have to look after yourself.
So should you love yourself more than you love the other person?
Should love yourself first.
Yes. That's perfect. You love yourself first.
Yeah, first.
No. Yeah. Should you love yourself more than you love the other person?
Well, you kind of have to, because you're the foundation of everything. Without you, there's no relationship. Remember that. So
because if you can't give what you don't have.
Yes, you can't pour from an empty cup. So without you, so yes, actually, I think I was reluctant to say You know, I think I was reluctant, but Lucy has pushed me to say it. And yes, I say it with conviction. Yes, you must. Because, you know, without you, like I said, without you, there's no relationship. So you have to be okay.
So it's fine to love yourself more, but you've got to leave a little bit of love for them as well.
Well, loving yourself more will bring, so basically it keeps you, so the more you love yourself, the more, so it's like filling up the cup. So it's overflowing and you have so much to give.
out. Yeah.
So yeah, the love, it's beneficial to everybody if you love yourself, actually. So yeah. That's a problem. You're so right. I'm not sure which
I'm not sure which
one she's referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get ourselves, see, as I said, you know, once we put something in the way,
Mhm.
and then I can see how the whole
Mhm.
what would we call it now, the whole pyramid starts to crumble.
Mhm.
Because something's in the way, so we can't communicate, we don't trust, we don't respect, we're not having shared experiences, etc. Now, I've got one author that says this is how you repair it,
Okay.
and I'm going to read them out.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how confident I am in the whole repairing, but that may be something that I need to go and do self-reflection on about the repairing. But it says practice forgiveness. Okay, we want the relationship to work. We want to make the love last. We've got to practice forgiveness, because resentment, anger, and blame are, although they are normal reactions when someone does something hurtful, without the forgiveness, however, little hurts as well as betrayals can tear a relationship apart.
Mhm.
So that forgiveness, how does that really work? Because I can say to my wife, I forgive you, and it's still burning. So I've said I forgive you, I want to forgive you, but it's still burning.
It's human nature.
So how do we, so when this author says, if you want the relationship to work, practice forgiveness, what's that about? How does that manifest itself? How do you do that?
Well, that if they say they're sorry, for example, then accept that they are sorry. As long as there's proof that they're sorry, though. You can't not, do you know what, if they slap you up every day and you know that's you can't forgive. That's foolish forgiveness.
You're putting yourself in jeopardy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like when I tell my boys all the time. So they do something and they say to me, Mommy, I'm sorry. Mommy, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're not sorry. If you're sorry, you won't do that again.
So
So the same thing you do
Over and over again.
and over
It's
again.
a decision. It becomes a decision to do it
So-
because all I have to
so
do is
the-
say sorry.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
yeah, then you can't expect forgiveness for that.
But
Then these are 11-year-old. Are they 11? Yeah, they're 11.
11.
Twin, 11-year-old twin boys. So
Oh,
cute.
but
They're
it's-
adorable.
but it's two different things. It's
Mhm.
either you're sorry for the action or you're sorry you got caught.
Sorry that for the action. So
So yeah, so that because you know some people are telling you sorry, but they're not sorry because they hurt you. They're sorry because you found out.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I started that a little too enthusiastically.
You
I
did.
realized. I need to dial this one back.
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah. No, but I'm sorry for the action, but I'm only having to apologize because I got caught. But I am sorry for the action.
Then that's not a sorry. Then that's get out.
Mhm.
Who said that out loud?
Mhm.
82228 0745 964 2898. Oh, you see, I'm glad it's after dark. Hopefully everybody's in bed now.
We're nearly there, man. We're nearly there.
No, everybody's in bed, so they didn't hear that.
They
They
didn't hear that.
didn't hear that. They didn't-
So with that one, I think yeah, you need to practice forgiveness, but you need to be wise about it as well. You can't, you know, so you can't forgive domestic violence, for example. Do you see what I mean? You can't forgive that. Well, you can, but you need to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
forgive you.
You
I-
forgive, yes, outside, yeah. Otherwise, you're going to be forgiven in your grave.
I forgive you, but I'm gone.
You know what?
Yeah.
You say that, but there's a story that I know of a man who struck his wife out of frustration. And they stayed on and went past that.
Counseling.
I don't even know if they went counseling, but they were able to work through that. And to my knowledge, he never struck her
Just the
again.
once.
It was just the once. And it was just, so I think, but there has to be lots of communication and lots of something through that. If you are going to go through, because it's not always a definitive that is definitely over.
Charlie, that's the one time though. There are people who hit their wives every day and come back with flowers every day, and the wife still stays every day. And that's going to be her doing that over and over and over again, forever and ever, or until he kills her. Do you see what I mean? So in that case, yeah. But in the instance that it's gray line, bloodlines, these things are very difficult, you know. It's never really black and white, is it?
But I always ask the question in terms of how did she know in that moment that it would never happen again? Because
Instinct and true, yeah, something speaks to you inside. We know this inner voice thing, right? I think
So,
we
what-
underestimate this.
Are we saying, how does she, after she's been hit the first time?
Yeah, first
How-
and only time. So how did she know that he's never going to do it again? She trusted. She trusted because there was something in his apology that
and
was
there's
real.
probably something in the circumstances around the hit. Maybe.
She was maybe she really wound him up, and she knew, like really, you know, in a one-off kind of way. Should never happen. I'm not saying.
So the crux of the argument was she was at home, he went to work. She was tired. So she spent the day resting. He came home from work frustrated, and she hadn't cooked.
Okay, he was frustrated at work.
He was frustrated. He came
Yeah.
home frustrated.
Right, he came
And
home.
he came home and she hadn't cooked, she hadn't tidied up, she hadn't done it. She just spent the day, and through the frustration, an argument heated up. And then outside of
And he
there,
struck
and then within that argument, he struck her.
And
0745 964 3898.
82228. Right, hopefully we're spacing your message on studio at AdvantageRadio.London.
Not my sister, he didn't.
Not my child, he didn't
Hey.
My sister, he didn't. You stop at Kentucky, friend. You stop at Kentucky.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
and I've always and this is not something that's new, and that's why this is something that happened. If 30 years ago was 30 years ago, and they're still okay, fine, happy 30 years later.
So it was a one-off, and it worked for them.
And it-
I'm sorry. She made the decision
Yeah,
to forgive him, and it's a decision this time that paid off.
Yeah.
And he never did it. So I suppose maybe
Yeah.
if he'd done it a second time, then she wouldn't have been that forgiving, you know? So
Yeah.
these things happen, you know, that, and not these things happen. These things shouldn't happen. But this is life, right? Life is crazy. So, you know, I'm happy that they made it work actually, because, you know, it proves that there is forgiveness and there's a reason why, you know, sometimes it's, you know, human beings, you know, we make mistakes.
And it's interesting because we, you know, we will draw, we'd have these red lines that we say, if he hit me,
I will never stay.
I will never stay. And I guess that's a good thing to start teaching your child, that no, if he hits you, don't stay. And then they will decide, in this particular circumstance, there was some physical abuse and I decided to stay, that they can decide that. But if they learn that they shouldn't need to. But I was very interested in a story that I heard once, that there was a lady that she's married. There's a couple, they're a married couple, and they was going through some issues, and she went and had an affair. Okay, the man didn't know. So they started to patch it all up. When they patched it all up, she said to him, no, he said to her, now that we're patching it all up, I just want you to know that when we had our row, I went out and I
dear.
had a one-night stand.
Oh dear.
And she went ballistic at the fact that he had a one-night stand. She had also had an affair that was not a one-night stand, but she went ballistic on him that he had a one-night stand. And when I was hearing that story, I was so angered by it. That and how I'm tying that into the physical abuse story. And I want to wrap up on a high note, so I want to get through this quickly. Is that sometimes we like to take the moral high ground purely because we don't realize, or purely because we don't think that our immorality has been exposed. So I can have a go at you for your one-night stand because nobody knows about my affair.
Yeah.
You see? And I can take the high ground on the, no, if he hits you, make sure you leave. First hit, bam, out. Not knowing that I either hit or have been hit and I'm still there working on it. We can take this utopian high ground. I think it's a very good line to have, physical, and
It's still individual though.
and then
So so you judge a case on its merits, and it's only the person in the situation who can actually make that call. So we on the outside can advise, and this is what we think is our 2 pence. And our 2 pence literally means nothing. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. And so it's the person involved who, you know, who.
So we our time is up. We've got to end. So I just need to know. So what are the highlights of how we're going to make this love last?
Okay.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I've got a list here. I've got loads of lists. Create new goals and dreams with one another.
Shared
Take
experiences.
shared experiences. Share chores as well. Be silly sometimes. Don't take everything so seriously. You know, life doesn't have to be so matter of fact and regimental. Still have fun, like Charlie's saying that she wants that excitement. You know, after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, still have fun and still be silly. And if you're being silly and your spouse goes, "What are you doing? You're ridiculous. Look at you. You're a whale." Then there is something missing in them. So we're already getting into the something missing part. Oh, I don't know why I froze in there. We're nearly done. Be a problem solver rather than trying to be overcritical. Know when silence is better than speaking. Always show respect. Don't be lazy in love. Make sure you're active in the love. That will help it last. You got any, Charlie?
My big takeaway is do the work.
Work. Yeah.
I think if you're both deciding that this is a space you both want to be in, and that you're not being held hostage in this space.
Then you do. Yeah,
do the
by
work.
yourself. Okay.
I think that's all it is. And the other way is, there is no try in love.
Yes.
Just love.
Yes.
Yeah, just love.
Just
yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So that's my 2.
Get
That's
out of
my
the way.
2.
Get out of the way.
Can I read just the end of this book? Because I
Yes.
think so. Obviously, I always take you back to self-love. So I always start with the me first thing. So it says, so whether you're in love, seeking love, healing from love, or learning to love yourself, remember this: the greatest love story of your life is not the one someone else writes for you, it's the one you write for yourself. And when you build that love, when you nurture it, when you make it your own, then and only then will you know the kind of love that is truly, undeniably, and forever unshakable. So It starts
Amen.
with us. So we are the love, basically.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure having a conversation with you.
Thank
It's
you.
lovely to have
Been
you.
lovely to come.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
thinking about me, Charlie.
Sally Chiwuzie. It's been lovely
Thank
to have you. And your friend Lucy.
you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Lucy.
Thank-
We-
thank
we
you.
have
No, she spoke.
international.
She spoke.
And she's
Yeah,
she
Lucy,
was
can you
on
take a
to-
photo, please?
Okay, yeah.
Did you want to be in the photo, actually?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
hold on, hold
Yeah.
on. We're still on, we're still on
Still
it.
on there.
We're still on it. We are still on it.
Okay,
So,
I'm sorry. I didn't
it's
realize.
okay, it's
Sorry.
all right. We are at the end of our season.
Mm.
This
Yes,
is the last
this is the last in the season.
episode of the season. Not next month, the month after, season
April.
11.
Is that
Okay.
11?
Season
So
11.
how does this work? You guys do this every week?
No, so we
Yeah.
have 4 seasons and
Mhm.
four,
Okay, no,
4 episodes
no,
in a
okay,
season.
okay.
Mm.
That, let me answer the question.
Okay.
Alternate months every Wednesday.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Alternate
Okay.
months every Wednesday.
So we will see you back in April.
In April, 4 Wednesdays in April. And then we'll
for
form
after
Monday,
that.
4 Mondays,
That's nice.
Wednesdays in June.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
She said
you
she
for
turned my
having
mic
us.
down, and
You
I'm
turned the mic
I'm
down.
saying goodbye to my people on Facebook because she turned my mic